One, the Clippers had the opportunity to see the Lakers in the first round. And what did they do? They did everything to make sure and assure that they did not actually see us, and they ducked us. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if this is not your first time. If this is your first time, please don't forget, please to make sure you subscribe, like, comment, as well as share. Of course, you're here with me, Raquel, with So Beautiful Me Sports Takes. Also, please, if you like, you can follow me on all my social medias, which is also So Beautiful Me. I'll link that stuff below. But we're here today. We're here today to talk all things playoff, all things NBA play-in, and what of last few days, few weeks actually, of the NBA. So what I'm going to be talking about today is, of course, the most recent games and play-in, because now the play-in is done, the tournament, as well as now we have all of the playoffs set. Okay, first and foremost, let me just tell you this about the play-in. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the play-in. I just don't think it's a great idea. I didn't like it. I don't even care that my team was in it. It's just silly to me. Some of the games in the Eastern Conference was blowouts, and then even if they weren't blowouts, it was just more games for players and teams who are already tired because of such a short, quickened season. So to me, I hate the play-in. I hope that they do not continue with this tournament. I think it was dumb. I feel like Steph Curry should have been in the playoffs. He did everything right, and then you have the play-in tournament, which isn't fair because basically you get one game and you have an off shooting night, or other players have an off shooting night. You're done for. I don't like it. So anyways, beyond that, we now have the playoffs finally set. So we're going to go into that first and foremost. And then I'm going to tell you my picks, my playoff predictions, at least in the first round. And you guys can tell me if you agree. If you don't agree, whatever. Do what you need to do. But anyways, first and foremost, let's talk about the Eastern Conference. First and foremost, the Eastern Conference. So we have the Sixers and the Wizards. We have the Nets and the Celtics. Then we have the Heat and the Bucks, and then Knicks and Hawks. Okay, so that's your Eastern Conference playoff picture. So in the West, you have the Jazz and the Grizzlies, the Lakers and the Suns, Nuggets and Blazers, and then you have, of course, the Clippers and the Mavs. So that's your Western Conference NBA playoffs now. So everything in the playoffs is set. So I'm going to start in the Eastern Conference, and I'm going to let you know where I think things are stand. So we're going to start from top to bottom. So the first team is, of course, the 76ers, who's the number one seed, and then they're going to be playing the Wizards, who, wow, let me give Wizards their credit, because I did not see them actually making it into the playoffs. I didn't even see them making it into the play-in. I really was not sold on the Wizards. I really was like, they're not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. They started off so bad, but they bounced back. So congratulations to Westbrook, as well as Bradley Beal, who has had an amazing season. He was second behind Steph Curry, only by a percentage of being the scoring title leader this season. So they played well. They got themselves into the playoffs. But they're playing the Sixers. They're playing the Sixers, and the Sixers are the team that I am picking to come out of the East overall. So in the first round, the Sixers and Wizards, they basically dominated them. They have a 3-0 record against the Wizards. The Wizards just does not have enough firepower to deal with the Sixers. You have Embiid, you have Ben Simmons, you have Tobias, who's been having a great year. I don't see them even making it competitive, and I feel like they will probably sweep the Wizards, and that's my prediction for the Sixers. Now, with the next one, you have the excuse me, you have the Nets and the Celtics. Okay, so everyone knows I am a huge Jason Tatum fan, but this is not a biased opinion. I really thought that the Celtics wasn't even going to be able to be in it, simply because they have struggled this entire season, and then on top of that, unfortunately, Jaylen Brown got hurt, and then he's out for the remainder of the season, as well as, of course, the playoffs. But when I tell you guys the magnificent play of Jason Tatum, he had a career high of 60 points. He scored three times already this year, over 50 points, and then he had like a 44-point game. And this was all within the last month and part of April. He's killed it. He has killed it. He has been the difference maker. But they are playing the Nets, and the Nets have dominated the Celtics all year. They are 3-0 against them. I actually think the Celtics will be swept. They don't have enough players. Without Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum has been willing this team to win. It's not going to work in the playoffs. So that's my prediction for that series as well. The Nets will sweep the Celtics. So then you have the one that I think is going to actually be the most interesting series in the first round for the East, which is going to be the Heat and the Bucks. So if you guys all know, the Bucks and the Heat were the team that took the Bucks out last season. So it's kind of like you don't know how this is going to all play out necessarily, but just so you know, the record this year, the Bucks have beat the Heat 2 times and the Heat has won once. For some reason, I think the Heat does match up pretty well with the Bucks, but the Bucks have a different team than they had last year. They have Holiday, they have, I think, Middleton, I might be saying his name wrong, but they have some key players who will be able to actually help Giannis this season. And they're going to be a strong team. I think a lot of people have counted them out, but I actually think they will be a very competitive team, and they will either get to the Western Conference Finals, in my opinion. I just think that they're a strong team. But in this series, I think that because of the matchup, you do have Butler and Butler, who is a very strong player. I still don't see them winning the series. I see the Bucks actually winning, and I see the Bucks winning in 6 for this series because they do match up well, and it's going to be a tough series. So the last one in this bracket for the East is the Knicks and the Hawks. So the Knicks have actually dominated the Hawks all season, and I don't see anything changing in the playoffs. The Knicks are one of the best teams actually in the East, even though their record may not show it. Their defense is what's going to make them a threat. And I don't think people even realize how great they are defensively, but that's going to be really huge and monumental in these playoff runs. You're going to see some Knicks kind of surprise some teams, but we'll wait till the next round. But I do have them beating the Hawks, and I have this being probably a 5-game series. I do think the Hawks will take one. So that's my prediction for the East. I'd like to hear yours. So we're going to move over to the West Coast. We're going to move over to the Western Conference, which in my opinion is the more difficult conference. But let's go ahead and break it down. So you have in the first round, you have the Jazz and the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, I said, just beat the Warriors to get that 8th playoff spot. Congratulations to them. I don't like the play-in. I feel like it's just, I won't even go into that. But let's talk about what the Jazz have done to the Grizzlies. They dominated them. They beat them 3-0 this entire season. It is going to not be a good series to me. It's going to be a sweep by the Jazz because the Grizzlies, one, they had to play 2 games to even get into the tournament. And 2, they're just not a strong team. And I love Ja Morant. He is an amazing young player. He's doing great things, but the Jazz are just such a good team overall. They have who I think is the 6th man of the year in Jordan Clarkson. I believe that Donovan Mitchell, part of me, should be back. So I don't think that they can handle, I do not think that the Grizzlies can handle the Jazz at all. So that series should be a sweep to me. Okay, so then you have, of course, the Suns and the Lakers. The Lakers did beat the Warriors to get into the playoffs, so congratulations to my team. Again, playing is stupid. The Lakers shouldn't have had to even go through that, nor should have the Warriors or any other teams on the East as well. But the Suns and the Lakers shall be a good series, in a sense. Suns are just a good team because, of course, you have Devin Booker, you have CP3, Chris Paul, who is an actually great veteran player. He really has come to that team and made them even better. But I still do not feel like they are going to be a threat because I feel like the Lakers healthy can beat any team. And that's just how I truly feel. And I feel like they don't have enough players to stop AD. They don't have anyone to stop LeBron. And then when you look at the overall matchups, the Lakers will be bigger and they will be able to overpower them. My personal take on that. That series is going to be game, I would say 5, simply because the Lakers like to have that game where they just don't play their best. And I see them still doing that. Okay? Because that's my Lakers. So in that series, I definitely see it being a 5 games. Lakers take it and win. Now, the next one is going to be the Nuggets and Blazers. So this one's a little bit of a toss up. I would have easily given it to the Nuggets because I just do not, I'm not sold on Blazers. I do not think CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard are a good match. They're a good match together, but they don't have enough around them to be a threat. But the difference is that the Nuggets are playing without, unfortunately, Jamal Murray, and he has been out. But the Nuggets did get Michael Porter Jr., who's playing great, who's also in the running for Sixth Man of the Year. So they may have some key elements where they could, cause a little trouble. But this one is a tough one for me because I would have easily said the Nuggets would have beat the Blazers, but it's hard. So for this one, I'm actually going to, even though I know everyone's saying Jokic is the MVP, I'm not even going to go into that of why I do not believe he's the MVP. It's basically by default, Embiid would have been the MVP, but unfortunately, Embiid got hurt for a few games and he missed, and people think because he missed, even though he has a better numbers and he was more dominant and his team was better, he doesn't deserve it. And then I would have also said Curry, but again, Curry team didn't even make the playoffs, so unfortunately we already know how that's all going to work out. But to keep it on the series, I do think it's going to be a 6-game series and the Blazers will win, simply because they have no Murray, but I could be wrong. This one I'm really not 100% sure on. Okay, so then you have the last one, which is the Clippers and the Mavs. So the Clippers and the Mavs is going to be a very interesting matchup. So just so you know, because I forgot to tell you guys also as well, the Nuggets have beat the Blazers 2-1 this year, but again, we're not factoring in the fact that Jamal Murray is not there. The Mavs have actually beat the Clippers twice this year. The Mavs actually almost beat the Clippers and sent them home in the first round last year. I know this is a different Clippers team from last year, but are they? Really? Are they? Let me tell you why I say this. One, the Clippers had the opportunity to see the Lakers in the first round. And what did they do? They did everything to make sure and assure that they did not actually see us. And they ducked us. And people are saying they didn't duck us. They played it smart, blah. I don't want to hear all that. That's not what happened. You guys know this is not what happened. You guys seen what they did. They lost to OKC. OKC is one of these worst teams this season ever. And then they also lost to the Kings. They just didn't want to see the Lakers in the first round, which, if in all honesty, they're stupid, because you should have wanted to see the Lakers in the first round. You have a Lakers team who is still kind of working on their chemistry. You have a Lakers team who hasn't played together very many games this entire season because, of course, we know both AD as well as LeBron has been out. You would have been better off trying to face us in the first round to try to knock us out, because the further along we go into this actual playoffs, the more chemistry the Lakers are going to build. So, and my take is this. The Clippers will win this series, but this series will be a 6-game to 7-game series because the Mavs will give them some trouble. Now, I know that Porzingis is, I think, hurt, and if he was here, I would have actually said the Mavs would have knocked the Clippers out. Mark my words, Luka is going to give them trouble. I just don't think that the NBA and their officiating is going to let the Clippers lose in the first round. If they weren't that, sneaky to me, the Clippers might be out in the first round. And I don't respect the Clippers or the Nuggets for the whole ducking thing that they did with avoiding the Lakers. Why y'all scared? 36-year-old LeBron, injury prone AD. Y'all scared of that? Y'all scared of them? Or are you guys finally coming back to earth and seeing that, yes, oh my gosh, the Lakers healthy, they're still that team. We're still the defending champions. And if we wouldn't have gotten hurt, we actually would have had a higher actual standing and we wouldn't have been in the play-in. But I like how everyone's doubting us. I like how everyone keeps saying that we don't have a chance and all. Okay. But who was y'all ducking? We won all of our games in the very end. The Lakers started to play very good together. So just know that that's going to carry over into the playoffs. And I'm ready. We're ready. We're going to be defending our title back to back. That's all we do. Anyways, that's enough of me talking and bragging about the Lakers. Those are the brackets. So once again, I'm just going to give you guys a little roundup of my picks. So we have the Sixers and Wizards. Sixers will be sweeping them. And then I also said for the Nets and Celtics, the Nets will sweep the Celtics. And then for the Heat and Bucks, I said that one is going to be the Bucks winning in 6. And then, of course, I said the Knicks and the Hawks will be a 5 games. The Knicks will win. That's my predictions. And the Western Conference, once again, it's the Jazz and Grizzlies. Jazz will sweep the Grizzlies. And then you have the Suns and Lakers. The Lakers will beat the Suns in 5. And then you have the Nuggets and Blazers. Again, I say the Blazers will win in 6. And the Clippers and the Mavs, the Clippers will win in 6. That's my playoff predictions. What are yours? I would like to hear you guys' opinion. I really want to hear your guys' opinion. I want to know how you guys feel. Who do you think is going to come out? Do you guys think I got it right? Do you guys think I'm way off? Tell me it all. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Or thank you so much for watching. See you next one.